So, I truly find it such an honor to be considered not natural. Because if I was not natural, man, I would be almost 3 times the size that I am. Because most of the guys that I compete with are 20 pounds at the least to up to 40 pounds heavier than me. So I won both. So I won the open class with guys half my age, and I won the 40 plus, which the 40 plus I pretty much walked it. That was easy because, me up there, I don't look over 40. So these guys, they look over 40. I think nowadays, especially with the way I take care of myself and the way I have always lived this lifestyle, and the genetics from my mother and father and what have you, and the family genetics, we still look young, and I feel young. I feel good. I don't even know what 51 is supposed to feel like, because I turned 51 in this month.
Between 20-year-old Torre and 50-year-old Torre, who wins in the gym?
Oh, 50-year-old Torre. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
I think the message that my victory sent to the world is that no more can they say, well, there's no vegan or person eating like that can win a major show. Because, they always look at it as, you can't build quality muscle because you're lacking essential amino acids. Your protein is not complete. And, it's so crazy how, all these social media platforms, people can say anything.
Is something standing between you and your happiness? It was for me. I had to face my depression and the constant negative self-talk. Therapy helped me realize I deserve to be happy. That's why this podcast is called I Choose Health, because I made the choice to heal, and I want to share that with you. It's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. 60% of you who are watching this podcast are men. And brothers, it is time to take care of yourself. As a gift to you, we've partnered with BetterHelp as our sponsor to help you start your own healing journey. We all face moments when life feels overwhelming, whether it's stress, anxiety, or just feeling stuck. Talking to someone can make a real difference. And that's where our sponsor BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp offers professional online therapy that's convenient, affordable, and entirely on your schedule. You can connect with a licensed therapist by video, phone, or even chat, whatever works best for you. Let our sponsor BetterHelp support you on your journey to better mental health. You can get 10% off your first month by going to betterhelp.com/iChooseHealth. That's betterhelp.com/iChooseHealth for 10% off your first month. Take the first step toward feeling better today. Hi guys, welcome back to the I Choose Health podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Leslie. Guys, mark it down. May 2025, 50-year-old vegan bodybuilder Torre Washington stepped into Las Vegas and walked out an IFBB Pro in the men's physique 40-plus category. For all the doubters, all the haters, this is our vegan crash out show. All right? If you know how Biggie started Juicy, we're on that same energy right now. Right? It was all a dream, but Torre made it a reality. Torre Washington, welcome to the I Choose Health podcast.
Thank you for having me, brother. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to break the myth and, showcase that eating plants and fruits is essential and can definitely build muscle. But I got to clarify something. So May, I've been an IFBB Pro since 2018. So what I did in May was win an IFBB Pro show. And I won the open and the 40 plus. So I won both. So I won the open class with guys half my age, and I won the 40 plus, which the 40 plus I pretty much walked it. That was easy because, me up there, I don't look over 40. So these guys, they look over 40. So.
Hey man, no, that's amazing. And it's a real testament to the work you've put in over the years and the way you've taken care of your body by putting those right things in, man. And I know you've been vegan since 1999, and then
98.
98, okay. And I saw you've been competing since 2009.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah. So 2009, I did my first competition, and by my second show, I gained a pro card, and that was all in the natural organizations before I decided to make that switch over to the non-tested organization to see how well I could do, you know, given my genetics and my work ethic. And I was able to get my pro card in 2018. Like, so yeah, man, it's well worth it.
So what keeps you going? And more than that, how do you continue to dominate, you know, especially at this point, this age, where people think that's not possible?
So what keeps me going, man, is really just that continuous improvement. You know, every time I look at my physique, I always want to make it better and better as for as long as I possibly can. And also because, you know, I'm a competitor at heart. You know, it's something I've always wanted to do. It took me a long time to really get up the nerve to actually do it. You know, it was not until I really said to myself, you know, I don't want to end my life or be at the end of my life thinking, I wish I had done it. And I don't want to say, I didn't want to be a I wish I did or I should have type of person. And I said, let me just give it a shot and see what happens. And I realized that I was good at it. You know, I was able to perform at the elite level and do well. And so now it's just to see how far I can take it, you know, and I don't really think about my age when it comes to it. And it took me a long time to actually jump into the master's side of things because I was in denial about my age because of the way I looked. And I recognized that sometimes when you start doing your age, they recognize you as that age and they almost don't give you a look when you do the classes that are younger because they want to give the younger guys more room to make the sport grow. And I get that, you know, I totally understand it. But, you know, this year has been a little different because we've had other guys that I know within the sport who are 50 years old, you know, win big shows and now are going to the Olympia to battle with guys half their age, you know, so it's definitely doable. I think nowadays, especially with the way I take care of myself and the way I have always lived this lifestyle, you know, and the genetics of my mother and father and what have you, and the family genetics, you know, we still look young and I feel young. I feel good. I don't even know what 51 is supposed to feel like because I turned 51 in this month. So,
well, happy birthday, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So, you know, the question that a lot of my friends have, especially not my non-vegan friends, they always ask, hey, is he natural? And if so, what's been your routine to keep your strength and appearance on point decade after decade?
So, you know, I truly find it such an honor to be considered not natural. Because if I was not natural, man, I would be almost 3 times the size that I am. Because most of the guys that I compete with are 20 pounds at the least to up to 40 pounds heavier than me. And that's because they are enhanced and, you know, they are utilizing it. It took me a long time to actually even start consuming protein powder and creatine. I thought that was unnatural because I wanted to just get everything by food. And it's not until I hired a coach and the suggestion of going higher in protein made me recognize the fact that I need to supplement protein in order to, because of the carbohydrates, you know, there's a routine of carbohydrates low, protein high to therefore prohibit muscle loss and catabolic state and create more of an anabolic state. And I just been doing that, continued to do that. And I've started just continuously seeing growth. I was getting better. And I look at myself from when I started competing in 2009 to now, and it's like 2 different people. So being told that, you know, I'm not natural or is he using, you know, and I think that's just because they see me by myself and they see me on video and on camera. It's as I said, it's an honor, but if I was on drugs, you wouldn't be talking about me like that. They'd be saying, damn, you know, this guy's winning Olympias. You know, he's a top guy in the game. And they'd be talking differently. And then it's like, oh, they wouldn't even ask because they already know then because I would be winning a lot more shows. With my genetics, it would happen all the time. You know, so now with my genetics, I'm just smaller. But because, you know, I always get feedback from the judges that you look great, you know, you're just the big boys over here. And I always get that feedback, you know, no matter how great I come in, it's because I'm not as big as them. And it probably wouldn't be a good look for someone like me to win because then it would say, oh, we don't need to be enhanced, you know, so it's a whole business plan.
So, Torre, you're 51 now, and
Yes.
been vegan for over 25 years, still out posing guys half your age. What do you say to people who swore that you fade out by now?
You know what? I don't even think I've ever had anybody say that. The one thing that someone has said to me is, because they didn't know my age, they were like, man, you look like you're in my world, because they could tell I worked out. And this is when I was an engineer. And he said, where do you get some good Winnie at? I was like, Winnie? What is Winnie? And Winnie, I think some people, is shortened for Winstrol. Winstrol is a type of steroid that I forgot what it actually does, but I think it makes your muscles harder and kind of increases fat metabolism.
Interesting.
And I was like, nah, I don't know what that is. He was like, you will when you're over 40. Because, basically his point was that you're going to need it as you get older. But at the time, I was already over 40, and he didn't know that. So he just assumed, based on my look, that I must be younger than that because of the way my physique looks and the way my overall, face and everything else looks. So I never had, it was just more like people just assuming that once you get to a certain age, you're not going to be able to do it. And man, it's crazy. From last year to this year, how much bigger I've gotten, So my testosterone, I had it tested not too long ago, and it was in October. It was about 600, which to me, I didn't know what it was going to be.
Yeah.
But according to the doctor, he said, man, that's actually pretty good for your age, So, I think a testament to your mindset, less stress, rest and recovery, and working out. Working out has a way of basically giving you the fountain of youth.
Doing my research on you, I came across the From the Ground Up animated series. Whose idea was that series or that film?
So that documentary was Pacino. I forgot his first name, but Santino. Santino is his first name. So he was a director. He played football for a little bit in college, and during that time he was consuming a lot of meat, and he realized that it didn't affect his body well. So he was looking at how can he change that up, and he found out about veganism, and he started to research and look into the athletes that were doing excellent with this lifestyle. And so he decided to go interview them and also change his lifestyle. And so with that, he actually contacted me and asked me to be in the film. And I was, at the time so excited, and I still am, that I was actually part of a documentary. I feel like it didn't get the promotion that it should have because it came out prior to Game Changers.
Right.
But, I think Hollywood knew Game Changers was coming, and Game Changers had a lot more, how can you say, connections. It was Arnold Schwarzenegger, directed by that big James Cameron. So, you had a lot more money put into that film than the one that we put out. So, but it was very good. It was really a good effort. I am very happy about it, and I was excited about being in From the Ground Up. And so that documentary is still available today, on Tubi, Amazon Prime, and what have you. So, yeah.
Were you able to meet any of those individuals, the other individuals that were featured in that?
Yes, I met, what's his name? Rich Roll.
Okay.
Of course, the football player who played for the Miami Dolphins. I forgot his name. He was in there. But a lot of the other guys, I met a few of them also because we had a premiere in LA, and that was a while back, man. But we haven't really conversed much since then. I didn't get to meet, what's his name? The Nate Diaz.
Okay.
I didn't get to meet him, because I know at the time he was a very popular MMA fighter. But I met a few of the other ladies, a lot of the free runners and the mountain climber. I forgot her name as well. But it was fun, fun times. It was something that I feel like really revolutionized and helped assist in growing the world of veganism, which at the time was really on the rise. So yeah.
I know that bodybuilding is unforgiving, injuries, diet, setbacks. What was your lowest moment, and how did you climb back up stronger?
Honestly, much praises to the Most High and the universe. Injuries never really plagued me in bodybuilding, because I'm truly a very much astute practitioner of proper form and proper body mechanics. I like to train effectively and efficiently, and so it just given me that sustainability to be able to continuously do it. I think the only year I really stopped competing was 2010. That was because I injured my knee doing something totally outside of bodybuilding. It was an old injury from playing football for high school, and in scrimmage I hurt my ACL, which I didn't know at the time. And it's not until about 2010 where I re-injured it doing something outside. I was running up some stairs and I kind of turned a little bit and it popped out. Went to get an MRI and they said, yeah, your ACL didn't heal properly. It looked like you had a damage before, and so they repaired it. And that was my only time out. After that, man, I was competing every year. I've been competing every year since that, and sometimes 6 to 7 shows per year, which is a lot.
Yeah.
But my body was and still is able to recover well. And and I attribute that to my lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it's been great, man. I really gotta say, much praise is due to being able to continuously go on like this.
So as of July 6th this year, I've been vegan now for 18 years. And
Nice.
I imagine that, you've been a vegan longer than I have. And I imagine that you've gotten this question time and time again, right? Where do you get your protein? That's the one question every vegan hears. At this stage in your career, do you laugh, do you educate, or do you just flex when that question comes up?
I do a bit of both, of educate and laugh, because I honestly don't get where. I get more of like, so what's your major source of protein? Like which one do you use the most? Because I think now they recognize, okay, they're getting protein in, and people are starting to comprehend a little bit about nutrition. So in that case, I'll start with one of my favorites is seitan, and then fava bean tofu, which has been new on the scene, but it's made a lot of waves because of the fact that it's just protein, 0 fat, 0 carbs. And I think that shocks a lot of people when they find out about that, because I've always eaten tofu because it was pretty much a staple from back in the days, because there wasn't much else out there, at the time. And so soy has been in my life since I was born. Like my mom raised us vegetarian, and then so she fed us soy milk and things like that. But that's what I get, man. And I just have to do my best to educate a little bit, because nowadays everything's at your beck and call. You have a supercomputer in your hand, and people can just look it up and find out what sources they can have. But I do understand that at times having the referral of a real person helps people to understand it more than just reading it on a page or from an article, what have you.
What's your background? Because I think even going back to the late 90s, like veganism was not that popular. So for your mom to have that insight to raise you guys vegetarian, it's pretty interesting. So I was curious as to what your background is. I'm from the Caribbean, and I grew up with a particular religious background where I became vegetarian at 11, vegan at 17. So I'm just curious as to what your background is.
So my mom's Jamaican. And so I was raised really around my mother's family, because my father left when I was 5. So my father's not Jamaican. So pretty much I was Jamaican, but some people say Jamaican or whatever. But my mom she started out as Catholic, but then she converted over to a Seventh-day Adventist.
So
the Seventh-day, So the Seventh-day Adventist is where the vegetarian came in.
That makes sense. That's my same background. Grew up Seventh-day Adventist as well. So, us adopting a vegetarian vegan diet was just something that was very common for us. So.
It's interesting. It's back then, Seventh-day Adventist vegetarian lifestyle was very much a particular part of it all. It was a key. Nowadays, they make different decisions. They're like, you don't have to. And it's like, but
yeah, it's. I feel like the experience has become very watered down now.
Yes.
I mean, it's unfortunate. I do think, and this is not to be a promotional bit for Adventism, but I do feel like as an organization, they had an ability to impact a lot worldwide. And just for the fear of standing out too much, I think, they kind of just blended into the background. That's the unfortunate thing. And I mean, we watch things like documentaries on blue zones and stuff like that, and Adventism is quite often highlighted like, hey, these Adventists, especially like in Loma Linda, live for a really long time, and it's primarily because of diet and lifestyle. So it's just one of those things I wish that particular organization realized the impact that they can have when I think they should have had, but just the fear of just sticking out.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting when you say Loma Linda. I don't know if you know that Loma Linda they also produced food products that were essential to, eating as a Seventh-day Adventist. There was Loma Linda products everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. I think if I'm correct, I believe there's a company called Worthington.
I remember them too.
The hot dogs and stuff. So I do.
They used to have that like. I used to really like that. Looked like almost like bologna, but it had like a different texture.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah,
I do remember that. Oh man. So some say that 50 is past your prime. Did Vegas prove that your prime is wherever you decide it is?
Bro, and that's why I'm so grateful, man. But that was also driven off the motivation of recognizing that my mother struggled and sacrificed so much to bring me into this world, and to provide us with whatever she could based on what she had, and then just even with the knowledge that she had at the time. And that was my way of showcasing or sharing her tribute, like a tribute to her, because my mom had passed away at April 5th, and on April 5th, and then so her funeral was May 5th, and so my competition was May 10th. So 5 days after that, so 5 days after that, I said, because competitions are on Saturdays. What's on Saturday? Worship. My mom usually goes to church. My mom doesn't go anywhere but church on Sabbath, and so she would never be at a competition. So since I knew she wasn't going to be there, but now she could actually see it whenever she wanted to, I said, I'm gonna shine for you. And that motivated me to really make sure that I got a win out of that show.
Yeah, definitely condolences to your family.
No, thank you.
So take us there. What's on your plate the night before you hit the big stage?
So literally on my plate is lots of carbs. Because typically, what I do for competition, about a week out from the show, we do about a 3 to 4 day depletion, meaning where we increase our water drastically to about a gallon more than what it is. So typically I'm doing a gallon a day, so we're doing about 2 gallons, and we are increasing our cardio intensity, and then we move into where my carbohydrates go down low. So it's really just to fully deplete the storage of glycogen and allow the body to utilize fats for your fat storage in order to really bring you to a point of super leanness where you're looking like an anatomy chart. And so by about 3 or 4 days out from the competition, you slowly reintroduce carbohydrates, and you keep everything else the same, but you're introducing carbohydrates to really get those muscles to pop, because the skin should at that point be so thin, it's like you're saran wrapped. And now you're starting to get to a point where your muscles are taking in all the nutrients, and it's almost gorging, and they're just filling out. So we look bigger because of the illusion of the skin being so much tighter, and the muscles are just expanding from all the nutrient being reintroduced again, because they're the first place to absorb it. And so then Friday night, which typically shows up Saturday, we may cut back or we may just increase it more, because once you go to bed, your goal is to definitely get 8 to 10 hours, 10 hours at the most, but as much rest as possible, because the more you rest, the body really has an opportunity to burn fat and assimilate all the nutrients in the right places, and therefore not allow you to hold on to any water, what have you. We keep our salt high so that we have a good balance of our sodium, electrolytes, protein, potassium, and magnesium, and things of that nature.
Generate by AI.
And by Saturday, you're walking it in. You know, you're not eating much, but you're eating every 2 hours or so to really allow your muscles not to deflate, or you to get a flat look is what they call, is where the muscles don't push against the skin hard enough. You know, because the more your muscles push against the skin, the better you look. You can actually look like you have more detail. And so, but detail with a low fullness of size as well. And yeah, we just kind of take it day by day, and we'll take it hour by hour per se. And we're still consuming water, still consuming salt. We're just not consuming as much food. And because you don't want to have a bloated look or your stomach being full while you're on stage. And so that's how we make it work. And, you know, it's really scientific based on the individual, because everybody's body will react differently. Some people probably can't do that as much carbs, but it all depends on how your prep has gone prior to the competition.
You know, what's been really vindicating for me is just seeing the amount of vegans around the world who are having success in different fields, in different areas of sports or academia, whatever it is, just like advancing. And, you know, I know that win for you this year was huge. But beyond the medal, what message do you think your victory sent to the world?
I think the message that my victory sent to the world is that no more can they say, well, there's no vegan or person eating like that can win a major show. Because, you know, they always look at it as you can't build quality muscle because you're lacking essential amino acids. Your protein is not complete. And, you know, it's so crazy how, you know, all these social media platforms, people can say anything. And as long as they come across as intelligent, it's taken as, okay, that's the way it is. You know, so it would be really nice if my win reached millions, because then I promise you it would change a lot of minds. You know, a lot of questions that have been asked and a lot of rhetoric that has been put out would have been changed. But, you know, I don't have that reach at this moment. Maybe one day, you know, I'll reach millions, because if let's say I was Chris Hemsworth, that's 50, 60 million people. Do you know how much people will be talking about vegan right now? You know, even though you have people like Billie Eilish who's vegan, but they already are popular in music. Their lifestyle, as far as what they eat, doesn't really make or break their success. Me, if I were in some type of fashion that large, what I eat is very important. And so people would really take into account, like, oh man, you know, this means a lot.
So I want to go into some rapid fire questions. We're just going to go through this as quickly as we can. So, Torre, at 51, what's stronger for you, your body or your mindset?
Mindset.
One word haters used to describe you back then, and one word they have to use now.
One word. Weak. And now small.
What's your favorite vegan protein source?
Seitan.
What's heavier, the weight of the dumbbell or the weight of doubt?
Weight of doubt.
What's the most overrated exercise in bodybuilding?
The most overrated exercise in bodybuilding. Overrated. Oh man. Shoot. Overrated. Because I feel like almost everything can be useful. Maybe bench press.
Okay. If you could eat only one vegan meal forever, what would it be?
Spicy seitan with Japanese sweet potatoes.
Sounds good. All right, what's your stage pump-up song? All right, what's blasting in those headphones?
Nothing, because I don't need music. It's mentally for me. Like, I go into a state of knowing what I want to accomplish versus having the music. You know, I've never used headphones for working out or anything like that. I feel like, to me, music is a distraction from you really being at one with yourself. So I don't need it.
Okay, perfect. First thing you thought when they called your name in Vegas?
You know, I had to say, well, I ain't gonna lie, I knew it. Because it was true. It was really, I felt like I had it even before I knew how many people were gonna be there. So when my name got called, it was like, it was very, almost like serene. Like it's like you knew when you put your mind to something and put your whole mindset into it all and there's no doubt, it's almost as if you know you're gonna win, but when it happens, it's like, man, I can do this for everything in my life, the things that I want to accomplish. You just have to really give it your all and leave no stone unturned. So, I guess the first thing that came to mind too was, thank you, Mom, because, you know, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be there.
Definitely. One bodybuilder you still love to go head to head with?
What do you mean?
So like,
say that again?
No, I said, so one bodybuilder that you still love to go head to head with, like competition wise.
Oh man, if he was, you know, at the time, you know, there was a lot of guys I wanted to compete against within the natural scene, and I didn't get the opportunity to. It would have been like this couple, Philip Ricardo, Ulysses. I don't know what Ulysses' last name is, but everybody knows about Ulysses because we all did Musclemania together, and Philip Ricardo did a lot of the natural shows. So those are two guys I actually really wanted to compete against, but it never happened. They all stopped when I decided to change over to IFBB Pro.
Okay. In terms of flex or food, which feels better after a win?
Flex. Because you almost want to keep that look still going, so you don't want to eat too much food.
Between 20-year-old Torre and 50-year-old Torre, who wins in the gym?
Oh, 50-year-old Torre. Crazy, right?
Yeah. So your dream collab, if you could train with anyone alive or gone, who would it be?
Yeah. Wow. Because I've trained with Michael Hearn, and that was cool. Oh, wow. I would have to say Arnold Schwarzenegger. And that was the main reason I got into bodybuilding, because I witnessed his physique and how he got to where he was. And I had always been inspired by superheroes, comics. And when I saw that Arnold looked like that, seeing him come out like that and what he did to get that way, I was like, there we go. And so I got into bodybuilding watching Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And then, Torre, what's next for you? I know you said you have a show in 12, 13 weeks? Yeah,
13 weeks doing the Ben Weeders. That was the show. So winning that show in May set me up for this show in November. And winning this show in November sets me up for the Olympia next year, 2026.
Got it. And then, Torre, where can we find you on social media so we can connect with you?
TorreWashington.com. I also have online coaching for people that really looking to change their physique, want to be re-engineered by an engineer. I was an engineer, and I still use that technical skills to really design and redesign your body. And it's engineeredbytorre.com. Also, you can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Instagram, all by Torre Washington. Instagram is Torre.Washington. Official Torre on YouTube. You know, so I'm everywhere. And every platform other than, which I got to get on, is the one that I don't hear much about. I guess the Pinterest. Is that still going on? I'm not on Pinterest, but but I'm on LinkedIn too. So I'm on everything under my name.
Perfect.
So yes, that's how you can get to me.
Well, Torre, man, I really appreciate you giving us your time. This has been an amazing interview. And I would definitely love to, maybe at some point, I don't want to put my idea there yet, but definitely get you and maybe like Robert Cheek and some of the other vegan heavy hitters, maybe on like a panel, so we could have further discussion. Nice. So
we need that again. I mean, those panels used to be big back then.
Yeah,
we need to get that back going.
So I can get that going. Robert just put me on to Joe Gagnon and believe it was David Atkins. I don't know if I've confirmed that David Atkins is vegan, so I don't want to say that he is, but I know Joe is for sure. So
okay, sounds good, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, so we'll definitely do that. Well, Torre, thank you so much, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be in touch soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time and your patience. I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you, guys. All right, that's it for the I Choose Health podcast. Just reminding you that choosing health is about choosing power, possibility, and purpose. It keeps your body active even while you work. The science says, a study in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science found that sitting on a stability ball activates trunk muscles significantly more than a regular chair. Another study in applied ergonomics reported improved posture and small increases in calorie burn when people alternated between a chair and ball throughout the day. That means every hour you spend balancing and adjusting micro movements on the ball, you're training your core, reducing stiffness, and supporting spinal health. Start small swap for 20 to 30 minutes at a time and build up as it feels comfortable. Remember, it's not about replacing your chair forever. It's about giving your body a chance to stay strong, aligned, and active. One choice, one posture shift, a stronger you.